let's get to it, man. Let's start off at the backbone of gaming, the backbone of our industry, what we do, what we love, indie games. And a huge indie showcase that dropped. The Triple I initiative had a whole, I guess, inaugural format and inaugural, I guess, just direct, in many cases, showed off a whole bunch of games. I feel like there was like 25 to 30 games plus shown off at this event. It was a huge collaboration between several developers, studios, publishers. Gearbox was involved. It was a lot of stuff and a lot of moving parts, but we want to talk about kind of just the initiative itself, the games, and at a macro level, let's talk about the kind of impact of something like this and how well this kind of ran. So just your general thoughts on the overall stuff first. When
I love indie showcases more than I think AAA showcases at this point. I genuinely cannot get enough of these because they are, like, I'm looking at it now, and like not looking at it now, like I'm looking at it now, it starts at 16 minutes and then everything after that is just straight information, but it's not like overblown, drawn out conversations. It's like, oh, here's a trailer, here's an update, here's what we're working on right now, here's what's something you should wish list, here's something that you should see. Like it's 45 minutes of just straight bangers. And honestly, it's something that is really refreshing because sometimes you'll get the AAA stuff, and don't get me wrong, I love Summer Game Fest, formerly known as E3. I love that time, but at no point in time should I be watching a Call of Duty like snippet and then they're like, let's bring out the voice actors to talk about these kinds of things. Like, I should not, it's already too much time being wasted. Attention spans are very, very short these days, and honestly, unless you're showcasing something that's very, very game changing, like if you were to walk on stage and explain to me the Nemesis system for the first time, then I'm like, whoa, this is a really good use of time. But if all you're gonna do is sit there and tell me how badass the character is or how cool shit is, let me experience it myself. Show me the trailer. Let's keep it pushing. We don't have a lot. We don't need to draw this out any longer than it needs to be. But this showcase is amazing. I love it because it showcases games that I would have never even heard about, like something like Dino Lords. At no point was I like, yo, RuneScape with dinosaurs is what I really want to play. But it's like that's a sick game. I never would have seen that before unless I watched something like this. And it didn't take up too much of my time. I knew exactly what I wanted to see. Showed it to me, and then we went on to the next thing, and then it showed me a bunch of updates on like early access games, and some of them which I've purchased, like Raven's Watch. I'm a huge fan of the game. I deleted it just because I don't want to play it until the game is fully out, because I already sunk too much time into it. I'm like, damn, I can't even get to the next chapter. Like, I want more. So a bunch of really, really good games. Risk of Rain 2, literally one of my top 10 games of all time. Seeing more information about that. I really would have loved a release date on the expansion, but I'm gonna be patient. Because you could play that game. I could still play that game till the expansion. There's so much in it. But honestly, all in all, this showcase was really, really well done. I'm happy to have more of these. I don't want to have too many though. We don't want a saturation of the market. I don't want to have like 4 indie showcases and all of them are like the same games shown again. I like the amount we have. I think there's maybe like, that I'm aware of, there's like maybe 2 or 3 a year, because I know there's this and then there's the Latinx gaming showcase, not Latinx gaming, but like the games of Latin America showcase, which is similar to this.
Yeah.
But the Triple I's, honestly, really, really, really dope showcase.
Yeah, I really did enjoy this showcase, and the funny thing is, I tried to catch it live. Like literally, I was like at the end of I was in the gym. I was at the end of working out. I was doing this on the treadmill while I was just like again jogging and shit. And I was like, all right, maybe, you know what I'm saying, hopefully it won't be too long. Once they started, again, it was just like 30 minutes straight, like trailer, bang. There's like a little break in between, but it was just information, trailer. So in essence, in its format, in its bare concept of how it was delivered, it was very good. It's exactly what I want to see from these types of showcase, any type of showcase. Show me the games, show me the footage, show me what you have to get me excited, interested, or any other positive feeling, and then keep pushing to the next. Like it was very good. The variety across the games that they were showing too was very, very nice, good to see. And I think that in this time especially, it's it's important for, you know, for indie games to really get as much platforming as possible in terms of just the collaboration across. Again, it was like a bunch of studios involved. It was like, again, it was like Gearbox. It was like eight to 10 other studios who were involved in kind of the making of this project, this initiative. And I think it's a really big net benefit to collab like this. Again, there's going to be a few others like you mentioned. Again, there's a Latin Expo. I think there was minority specific ones.
Guerrilla Collective do one as well.
Guerrilla
That's
Collective,
yeah.
Devolver Digital has one for their own, but sometimes they'll have branch outs that'll come in, but they're under Devolver's banner.
Those are short films. It feels
those
like.
those
are short films with game trailers built in.
Honestly, those are a little bit different, but still, you have like your pockets. But if there was a way to kind of platform as many as possible in a certain manner, I think this is possibly one of the best executions of it, or one of the best outlooks of it, in my opinion, because you're bringing so many people to the table to produce it, and you know it's going to table so many different looks and so many different games that are going to be there. So I really appreciate that this format, this organization, this conglomerate of folks have come together to really put indies on in as much of an expansive way as possible. Again, they're projecting from all their individual channels, and they're bringing this together for this for the collective initiative, and that you know, the moniker, the name, the brand, whatever you want to call it. So I really think that's important. You know, I don't want to skip over the fact that they did this and they've, you know, joined forces. So many different, you know, publishers, developers have joined forces to make it happen. I think this is something that at the indie level, you know, we should definitely see more investment into and more support for, as we try and keep pushing it. Because again, everybody has their respective corners, you know. Again, like the other organizations and indie conferences and showcases that we mentioned, but being able to collaborate and have open collaboration to kind of push that whole platform forward for indie, I think that's really big. I think this is something that's really big and can be pushed to a very high level, and that's, you know, this could be something that we see. You know, this could be something that we see a lot more of going forward, and I want this to be as big as a, you know, an Xbox conference, a PlayStation conference. Again, realistically, it's going to be ways away, but at least in again, presentation and support behind the scenes, I want that to have that level of support and you know, visibility in the industry. I feel like the collaboration aspect of so many people coming together behind the scenes helps it a lot. So that's good. The format of it, again, straight games, no talking heads, just information. You let it go, let it fly. Loved it. And just a couple of standout things. Again, we saw some stuff that we already knew of. More of Mouse. I love Mouse. I need more, bruh. I have never been more excited about a mouse in my life, and yes, it is a direct slight to Disney. All right, I need that. All right, well, exception for Kingdom Hearts 2, but that's beside the point. Mouse looks fantastic, always looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see more of that. 33 Immortals, which again we saw early things of, early like looks of last year. Yeah, I'm glad that that's kind of had another look in, and they're going into early access, I believe in May. So I cannot wait to see what they do. That looks like a really, really interesting game as always. And I feel like, again, the multiplayer aspect is it's always going to catch me. It's always going to catch me in some way, shape, or form, especially in a more condensed format, co-op. You know, to that scale, looks like an interesting concept. What was it? I get. We talked about the what's it called? The dinosaurs and the knights, like the
Dino Lords.
Dino Lords. Thank you. That looked really, really cool. Let me see what else. V Rising Legacy of Castlevania. Listen, they got Belmont's up in this bitch again. Lovely stuff. I can't, you know what I'm saying, I cannot fault anything that has a Belmont or Castlevania attached to it. So that's that. There was a collab, I believe, with Vampire Survivors and Contra, which was really cool. They had like a whole Operation Guns, I think it was, and it's coming to PlayStation as well. That's a cool update. Kill Knight was one of my standouts as well. Kill Knight, I really enjoyed how, you know, just how it looked, how it flowed. Again, as you kind of get more powerful, as you continue to not die, you're gonna have that continue with a little boost in power ups. I like that concept. I liked how that played out. Looked really, you know, just cool as shit. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, we got a really good mix of stuff that we knew about. Again, we saw Flintlocks, we saw, again, just the common games. Slay the Spire 2, which is also, again, it's getting a sequel, which talk about it. So for
those who don't know a little bit of Wen lore, I have ADHD out the wazoo. I fucking can't. I literally am clicking around. Even when we're doing this podcast, I'm clicking around or doing shit that's like super meaningless just so I could try to pay attention. And one game that I play is my solitaire is Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is such a really fucking good game. It is phenomenal. I cannot emphasize how much fun it is. It's such a it changed. I used to be a huge fan of Hearthstone, but I hated how fucking expensive it is to be a fan of that game. Slay the Spire gave me everything that I wanted out of Hearthstone in a fucking $10-15 game. Like, it is so good. The fact that we got a Slay the Spire 2 is bananas. I didn't think we were gonna get another game for a long ass time. Slay the Spire 2, absolutely one of the best indie games I've played in my lifetime. Hands down, no questions asked. I am really excited for that game. 2025 for early access is killing me though. I love early access and hate it at the same time. I love early access because I can play a game and like kind of like kickstart in a sense. Like I remember kickstarting. The only game I think I kickstarted was Blood Stained, the game that's a Castlevania like spiritual successor. Phenomenal game. I got the game, got my code, whatever, had a fun time. The thing I love about early access is that I can play the games and fund them and help them build this game up before they come out. But the negative to that is the fact that the game is never done when you buy it. So unless you're like playing a survival game, you can get 100 hours of it. But if it's something like Raven's Watch, which is a game I was playing, I can only get to like chapter 2 before they're like, all right, that's really all we got for you right now. And that's the part that hurts so much, is that like now I'm excited for early access in 2025. I'm sure though I will find something to play in 2025. I'm sure there's a couple indie games like the Grand Theft Auto 6 that's coming out to take my time up, you know, so that I'm not obsessing over when this game is going to be fully done. But Slay the Spire, phenomenal game. And even if you're not into cards, like the way this game works, you don't even have to be like a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Like, it literally is, if you can understand something as simple as like solitaire, you will have fun with this game. Like, it opens up your brain. It is not super there's not too many rules. It's super simple, really easy to get a hang of. But that game looks amazing. Don't mean to take your turn, but I do want to talk about some of the other games that I saw there too, like the Rogue Prince of Persia looked bananas.
I want to get into that, bro. I want to get into that. We can talk about it. Oh my goodness! Again, there was a rumor that did pop up before the showcase was even up, talking about a Prince of Persia game with the Dead Cells producers, with the Dead Cells team, and what the hell, bro? Again, just the platforming, the animations, the attacks. I mean, again, just the whole roguelike, that format in the Prince of Persia skin. It just looks, sounds, feels good in early access May 14th. I was loving it, bro. Again, the platform looks so smooth. I just love the color palettes and how you just platformed your way around, bro. The animations look super fucking cool. I'm with this. I need it. There's nothing much else to say for me. I like this shit. I need it.
No, it looks bananas. Like and it looks like such a it's a very big difference from that to like the Prince of Persia game that they dropped in January. Bananas ass game. They both look like, I love that it's not just the same thing again. Yes. Like you can buy both of them and have two different experiences. It looks to me, it looks more akin to like the old Prince of Persia, like I don't know, like the cell phone games, but like for a way younger audience. Like, it's just like, yo, there's gonna be platforming, there's gonna be, your movement is gonna be very important. Like, I'm really excited to tap into that. Another game that looked bananas, I think I already mentioned it, was Streets of Rogue 2. I have to play it because you can't show me we need to overthrow a government and then say, oh, you could also just not do that shit and just build a house and just buy. Like, I want to see how much of not doing the objective I can do. Like, that, I guess that's like always been my thing, is like, I'm gonna do every single side quest in every game that I do. Like, I want to see how far I can go in this game and doing whatever I want. Like, they said a couple things like, oh, you can hire mercenaries, you can make a zombie invasion. I saw that there was a jail. Maybe you can like break people out of jail and be like, yo, I broke you out of jail, like become like a super villain. Like, it looks like a wild ass game. I'm really excited to play that. We already talked about Hyperlight Breakers in this podcast before. Yep. Bananas game looks phenomenal. Wizards of Legends 2 looks really good. We talked about how like a game will go from like 2D to 3D. Similar to Hyperlight Breaker. I really would love to see, I'm excited for Wizards of Legend 2 because they're going for a more 2D 2.5D type of aesthetic. Like, it's more 3D. I want to play it, and I hope we get a Wizards of Legend 3 in full 3D, similar to like a Risk of Rain, like just like a third person type of Wizard game. But this game looks really, really good. I heard amazing things about this franchise from a friend that really loves roguelikes. I love roguelikes. I really want to tap into that. And another game, this game has already been in early access, but huge cozy vibes. My Time at Sandrock looked really cool. I'm really happy that they're doing crossplay, because now you can, if Sandrock goes on like Game Pass, or if you buy it and you can play with your friends, like that's another big like benefit. Because I have My Time at I think it's My Time at Portia, and they also have that on Xbox Game Pass. Really good cozy games. It's like Stardew Valley, but third person, like really, really good. We could spend all day on all the good games that they showed, because there's so many good games. But I think if I had to choose, if I had to walk away, be like, yo, I need 3 games out of this list that I'm leaving with right now to go home with and play. Definitely gonna have to say Streets of Rogue 2. Slay the Spire 2, even though like I don't even really want to count that, because all they did was say we're making it and made a sick like anime intro. All they said was like we're making it, but I'm gonna go with that. And I'm also gonna have to lock in. Oh wait, Shadow of a Doubt was also another bananas ass game too. Like that was also a bananas ass game. I'm like, what is like? There's so many questions I have. I think I'm gonna walk away with Slay the Spire 2, Streets of Rogue 2, and Shadows of a Doubt, because this game looks like a AAA game. Like that's the best way to describe it. It looks like so many different avenues.
I forgot. It was like the detective one, right?
Detective one, yeah. You're like opening up the blind. Like it looks so cool. You're sneaking around. Like it looks like this kind of reminds me of like Deus Ex in a sense of like the levels of freedom you want to use to approach like your situations. This is it looks bananas. It looks absolutely insane.
Bro, I would definitely tap into that, bro. That definitely is an interesting game. My 3, this is gonna be tough. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's so hard.
One thing I will say before I give my 3 about the Rogue. Somebody on Twitter made up a really good point about just kind of like how, you know how you mentioned like again it's completely different from the other Prince of Persia game that came out this year, the Lost, I'm about to say the Lost Sands. I forget the name, the subtext of the name, but whatever. It's 2 different experiences compared to again the other one that dropped this year. And the person on Twitter, I completely forget where this tweet came from. I apologize. I cannot find his name. I'll find it in a second. But they were just like, this actually could be a good contingency plan or a good forward plan for, again, AAA IPs, because they could just say like, yo, listen, we might not want to take the risk of our personal studio being able to, develop these things, but if we hand it off to an indie studio or somebody who, can take it to a different place in terms of gameplay experience, feel, and there's enough synergy there, we could create a whole nother set of fans from that. And they're in love with the IP, but we create a whole different experience in this lane and we still make money off of it. So I'm like, that actually is a really cool, again, it's a cool concept that's been happening again here and there over the years with different IPs. But I absolutely love taking what you know about an IP and completely shifting it. Not necessarily, you don't have to do it within studio. It didn't have to be like a whole Hyperlight Drifter to Hyperlight Breaker. You don't have to change the whole plane to like a 3D, a 3D, fully 3D game. But for like the Rogue Prince of Persia, taking it to like a whole roguelite side scroller type thing and putting it out of the mold of most of what we knew in recent times, I think that's a really good idea, a really good approach for AAA studios, AAA IPs to start adopting. Like if you imagine, like some big ass everybody I think for the people that tried Halo Wars, people love Halo Wars because it's in a different format and it's still fleshed out. There's a lot of quality there. That's a really good example, honestly. Like you put an IP into a format with trusted developers, and they can make something cool and create a whole new subsection of fans for your base that adds to the whole mythos of your IP, adds to the whole notoriety of your IP. And I love stuff like that. So the Rogue is something I really, really like. I love, again, just expanding the definition and the just the visibility of an IP, changing up what we know about it, changing the questions, when we have the answers in some sort of way. So I love that stuff. All right, my three. Damn, this is hard. Shit, there's like six.
Yeah, there's so many like good games.
6 to 8. Oh my gosh. All right. Wait. Okay. Also, I'm not gonna pick games we've seen before. I won't pick games we've seen before. I will not do that. So Mouse is out, 33 Immortals is out, the Power World update, which we'll talk about later, is out, Tachia is out, Hyperlight Breaker is out, Let me see. Risk of Rain 2 is out. That's just an update. But shout out to Risk of Rain 2 as always. Flintlock is also out. Vampire Survivor is also out. All right, cool. So let me pick a 3. I will go Kill Knight, Shadows of a Doubt. Shit. And I'm going the Rogue. Yeah, I'm bugging. I was like to spend a whole fucking 5 minutes talking about it. What am I doing? So yeah, Kill Knight, Shadows of a Doubt 100%, and the Rogue. That's my 3. I thought this was a really good showcase, man. I listen, it did what it was supposed to do. Didn't again spend too much time being overbearing or anything like that. One little break for people to get your water and get back into it. Straight information. Love it. Honestly, I get this a B+. This is a really good show.
Yeah, no, I definitely give it a B+. I think we need more like this. I really love, and I also wanted to jump on what you said earlier about the Prince of Persia thing. I think one thing too that a lot of companies are just kind of afraid to do, growing your communities on a smaller scale and then expanding upward. Like starting off small, doing something like a Rogue of Prince of Persia. It's very different from what we're used to. Let's see what people like. Oh man, people are enjoying this. Okay, let's keep building on it. Let's keep expanding on this idea and see how many more people we can get invested in this. Okay, now we have this established audience. Let's put some like AAA money into it now. Let's see how big we can make this game. You know what I'm saying? Cooking on something small, a concept, growing it gradually, having people enjoy it, and then being like, you know what? Let's change the game. Let's make this a big ass AAA release. My theory, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But like, for example, if they were to make a Risk of Rain 3, if they were to do a AAA version of that or put more money into a bigger budget into a game like that, it could absolutely expand into something way greater. Like similar to what happened with Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls. A lot of people played it and not many people enjoyed it at first. It wasn't like commercially mainline successful, and then they just kept working on the formula and working on what makes the game good. And then eventually when Elden Ring dropped, when they got to that point in their careers, now it is a staple. Now it's something that we cannot ignore. Similar to what Larian did with Divinity 1, Divinity 2. I was a huge fan of Divinity 2. Like everybody, when Divinity 1 dropped, I enjoyed it. And when I was keeping up with Divinity 2, and then when Baldur's Gate 3 dropped, now look at where we are. I think they need to start thinking of a long-term game, long-term storytelling, similar to like WWE, like long-term. Let's start out with something small. Like if you're a wrestling fan, you'll understand this. Let's start off with the Shield and let's get to the Bloodline. Like let's start off with something small, build on it, see what works, see what does it, reformat it, restructure it, and then get to the end. Because I think a lot of people will see something new. Like I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 3 or 4 years we get 5 different Helldiver clones. Like I would not be surprised if they see this game.
Trust me, it's already on the way, brother. It's already on the way.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see that coming out the woodworks. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 2 or 3 more Pal Worlds in our lifetime, because they see what other people cooked up and decided to go stupid. Now these aren't the best examples, because these are Helldivers 1 is a good example, because Helldivers from Helldivers 1 to Helldivers 2 was like a small community, saw what worked. Let's build on it. Let's expand. Pal World. That's just magic, baby. We can't even talk. I don't know how best to describe.
That's lightning in a bottle. I don't know. That's a pure anomaly, but very good game
shit
still.
Just happened. But like, instead of trying to create something or steal fans from somebody else, start off something small, build on it, let it grow. Like I'm excited to play something like My Time at Sandrock. I'm sure if this franchise will keep growing and keep getting better, as long as you're listening to the community and finding out what works and what doesn't. Just keeping on, but don't fall for the pitfalls of like, hey, I'm gonna try to like take this from Fortnite and make my own Fortnite. Like let's not do that. Innovation is really what's going to succeed, but it's a long game. It's not a short game.
Yeah, fully agree. It's like, if there's a chance to, and again, that point also speaks to the sustainability of game development. You know, if you can take maybe not a huge capital intensive project, you give it to somebody, you know, you give Prince of Persia to somebody like the makers of Dead Cells, and they make something great with it. You just gained a whole bunch of fans for probably a fraction of the price of you making a whole brand new AAA game yourself. Or you have one cooking in the background, but you need something to fill it. You're not exactly sure how it's going to be well received. But if you have other projects that are still building within the IP, you're creating that momentum for the IP, and when the big AAA thing drops, you might have a whole legion of new fans that you never expected, because they played the lost, I'm about to say the lost game from the beginning of the year. They played the Rogue, you know, that's coming from the Dead Cells team. That build up is again, it's organic, and it could be very effective in the sense that they're seeing it in so many different media formats. Some people might not have any choice else but to follow the IP because they've seen 2 great experiences from it. Like, yo, shit, Prince of Persia is doing a lot of great stuff. Let's see what Prince of Persia's got next. So that build up, like when we're talking about, that could be very key for how a lot of AAAs move forward. That could be very, very important, you know, and employing that more. I think it's only going to lead to other great game experiences, allowing people to jump out of their genres of comfort and experience something that they might not have been privy to before, which I think is always good. Expanding your horizons, expanding your taste. I think that's always a plus. And yeah, just kind of building from different fronts. So interesting stuff. But I really do think that's something that AAA should really be looking as much into as possible, or more into over the time that we go, to help diversify. You know, diversify your bonds, man. Diversify your bonds. We're the Wu-Tang. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, the Triple I, man. Triple I, solid. Super solid.